guys, welcome back to my channel. So a couple of weeks back I made a video about hair porosity, the different hair porosity types, what to do and what not to do for each hair porosity type, because hair porosity is very important when it comes to hair care, because that is what determines the amount of moisture your hair can hold. Well, at the end of that video, I told you guys about a strand test for checking your hair porosity, and I told you to take that test with a grain of salt, because I've always been skeptical about that test. Like, it makes sense on the surface, but if you actually go deeper, you see that there are a lot of factors that can affect the results of the test and give you very wrong results. So yeah, it's crazy. I've actually seen a lot of people push for this test and support it, when in reality it is actually junk science. So I'm going to be giving you guys 5 main reasons why you should not trust that test. So please try your best to watch to the end of the video, because this video is very detailed. Like, I'm actually going to be explaining everything step by step. So a few days back I decided to try the test for myself. So I cut a few of my hair strands and I put it in a bowl of water. I'm going to insert a clip so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. Anyways, the test normally says it takes about 4 to 10 or sometimes 15 minutes for your hair to sink, if it's eventually going to sink. So I left it there for 15 minutes and I came back and I checked it, and my strands were still on the surface of the water. So I posted everything on my Instagram, and a lot of people started telling me that they also experienced the same thing when they tried it. So initially I first thought, oh, my hair might be low porosity. Then after leaving the strands in the water for 30 minutes, I realized that there was something wrong, and too many people were telling me they had the same results. It didn't make sense that all of us would have low porosity, because the test says if you have low porosity hair, your strand will float on the water. So it didn't make sense that every single one of us had the same results. So the first thing that came to my mind was surface tension. So I decided to push the strands into the water, and immediately when I pushed them down, they actually sunk to the bottom. Then after about 30 minutes again, they started floating and they went back to the top, but this time they weren't on the surface of the water, they were directly below the surface. So yeah, I'm going to give you guys 5 reasons, one by one, why you should not trust this test. Number 1, oil. Oil floats on water. We all know that oil is generally less dense than water, so it floats on water. So if your strands are covered with any form of oil, they are going to float. So generally, your strands will almost always float on water regardless of your hair porosity. That is because the oil that our scalp naturally produces, that's called sebum, always coats our hair strands. So whenever you put your hair on water, the oil that is coating the strand is going to make the strand float. Now, some people might be like, okay, what if I do the test on freshly washed hair? I did my test on freshly washed hair. Although I conditioned it with my avocado and egg conditioner, but still my hair was generally freshly washed. And even if you do it on freshly washed hair, no matter the type of shampoo you use, there will still be some residual oil on your strands that will cause your strands to float. Number 2, surface tension. Now, personally, I think this is the most important reason why your strands will float regardless of your hair porosity. That was actually the reason that first came to my mind. Now, what is surface tension? Surface tension is the attraction of particles or molecules of a liquid at the very top, the very surface of that liquid. So in this case, we have water. So think of it this way: at the direct surface of the water, the molecules are really tightly packed, and they're like packed together. They're not trying to let anything pass through. Now, this is the general diagram describing surface tension. As you can see, we have 2 molecules, A and B. Molecule A at the top of the water is being pulled down by all the other molecules beside and below it. Actually, if you want a detailed explanation on surface tension, let me know down in the comment section. I'll make a whole video just talking about surface tension. I don't think a lot of people want to hear all these details right now, so let's go back to the video. Well, generally, hair is less dense than water, so it doesn't exert enough force to break the barrier caused by surface tension to be able to sink into the water. That's why your hair just stays at the top and just remains there. That's kind of like the reason why flies can walk on water. Whatever object that you put on the surface of the water has to be able to break that surface tension barrier before it can sink. If it's not heavy enough, it is not going to break the barrier, so it will just stay on the surface of the water. That was why I had to push the strand, actually push it into the water for it to go down. And like I said before, after some time it actually did go back up, but this time they weren't on the surface of the water, they were directly below the surface. Now another reason why you should not trust this test is temperature. Yes, the temperature of the water used. But this reason isn't really that big of a deal to a lot of people, because you're obviously not going to be doing the test with extremely cold or extremely hot water, so it's really not that much of a factor. You're probably going to be using room temperature water, but regardless, it is still a factor. Since 91% of our hair is made up of protein, which is called keratin, practically all proteins change in structure with any change in temperature, so that can also affect how your hair behaves. And generally, stuff is more likely to float in colder water than it is to float in warmer water. That's because in colder water the molecules are more packed together, so it makes the water really dense, as opposed to hotter water where the molecules are more spaced out, so it's not as dense. Now all the three reasons I've given you are reasons why your hair will float on water. That's why I said at the beginning of the video, generally your hair will almost always float on water regardless of your hair porosity. But there is also a reason that can make your hair sink. Even if your hair is not damaged, it can actually make your hair sink and give you the impression that your hair is damaged, because the test says if your hair sinks quickly to the bottom, that means you have high porosity and your hair could be damaged. But yeah, that might not necessarily be the case if you use a product in your hair that's very heavy. So yeah, heavy products in your hair can weigh down your hair. They can actually make your hair sink, even if your hair is not high porosity, even if your hair doesn't have any damages. If you do the test immediately after putting a very heavy product in your hair, that can weigh down your strands and cause it to sink, giving you the impression that you have damaged hair, when in reality your hair is not damaged. So yeah, these are my 4 main reasons why you should not trust this test. Also go out there and do your research. There are other reasons, but these are the 4 major ones. Now I know a lot of people are like, okay, now that you've said we shouldn't trust the test, what are we supposed to do to check our hair porosity? There is actually a way to check your hair porosity, and it is called gas sorption. Now this method is very expensive and it is not readily available to the average person. So yeah, it involves passing some gas, usually they use air, through your hair strand and measuring the volume of the holes in your hair strand and comparing it to the total volume of the actual strand itself. So if the volume of the holes compared to the volume of the strand itself is a bit high, then obviously you have high porosity. But if the volume of the holes is small compared to the volume of your actual hair strand, then you have low porosity. If it's at a normal range, then you probably have normal regular hair porosity. So yeah, the second way to check this is called trial and error. This is something we've been doing. This is something we'll keep on doing. This is what we do almost every day. Just simply pay attention to your hair. That is when you will know the products that you will use. That is when you will know what your hair reacts to. That is when you will know what it likes, how it reacts to moisture, how it reacts to certain products. So yeah, that's the basic way. Just pay attention to your hair, see how it reacts to moisture, see how it reacts to steam treatments. That's how you kind of gauge the kind of products to use, the kind of products that moisturize your hair. And it's not something that you learn overnight at all. Yeah, I've been natural for about 4 years and I'm still getting used to a few things when it comes to my hair retaining moisture. I actually just figured out another routine that works amazingly well for me 2 weeks ago, like literally 2 weeks ago. I'm still testing it out though because I want to be very sure that it works, but it has done me well. My hair has been so soft and moisturized. Like, I moisturized it only once this week and it's still really soft and everything. So yeah, I'm still testing that regimen, but yeah, you just have to keep on testing and seeing what works for you. And keep in mind that your hair porosity can change over time due to various factors. So even if, let's say this year there's this particular product that's working for you, is doing everything you need it to do, and the next year it is just bad, like it doesn't work, it's just going crazy, that's because your hair porosity level probably changed. That's why a lot of people have this experience where they like a product at this point in time, they love it, and the next couple of months they hate the product. It's not doing anything at all. So yeah, just keep paying attention to your hair, so you'll be able to notice all these little changes. You'll be able to notice the products that it likes, the products that it doesn't like, the products that it doesn't want anymore. Just pay attention to your hair and you will be fine. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I'm gonna keep doing more videos like this where I talk about the important stuff that you need to know for hair care, and I also tackle some of the myths and stuff that the natural hair community throws at us, because there's a lot of information out there and a lot of them are wrong and will just lead you into a road that you don't want to go to. Anything you hear with regards to hair care, also form the habit of doing your own research and making sure that whatever you're being told makes sense before you actually try it out. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to watch my other hair information videos. I'm going to leave them on the screen. Also click the eye at the top to see my other recommended videos. I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to click on my face to subscribe, because I will keep doing more videos like this, and I always do really nice updo styles on 4C hair. Yeah, anyways, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.